But approaching this role, I mean, did you think that it was going to have such an impact on so many generations?
No.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I really had I had just become a member of the Actors Studio, and I didn't really want to do it, but they weren't happy with the person who did the pilot.
What if I told you that the glamorous movie star we all loved on Gilligan's Island almost quit before the show even began? Why did Tina Louise refuse to return for any reunion specials, leaving fans wondering what really happened behind the scenes? And how did a childhood filled with pain and abandonment shape the woman who would become one of television's most iconic characters? But here's the most shocking revelation. Wait until you hear what Tina Louise finally confessed about never receiving a single penny from the show's massive success in reruns. Today, we're diving deep into the untold story of Tina Louise, and what she finally revealed will change how you see Ginger Grant forever. Picture this. It's the early 1960s, and CBS has found what they believe is the perfect actress for their new sitcom. Tina Louise was already making waves on Broadway, starring alongside Carol Burnett in Fade Out, Fade In, and earning a Tony nomination. She had the glamour, the talent, and the star power that CBS desperately wanted for their quirky island comedy. But here's what most fans never knew. Tina Louise almost walked away from Gilligan's Island before it even started filming. According to the source document, when Louise first arrived on set, she was horrified by what she encountered. The director wanted Ginger to be a more sarcastic kind of character, completely different from what she had been promised. In an interview with People magazine, Louise revealed her shock. "I got there, and the director wanted it to be a more sarcastic kind of character, and so then I didn't even want to work on it anymore. I told him I wanted to quit." Imagine if she had actually left. There would be no iconic red-haired movie star, no glamorous gowns, no "Oh Gilligan" moments that became television gold. The show as we know it simply wouldn't have existed. But Tina Louise wasn't just complaining, she was fighting for her artistic vision. She took her concerns directly to CBS leadership, arguing that viewers would never embrace a doll that was not nice. She pushed for a portrayal that was glamorous yet approachable, drawing inspiration from icons like Marilyn Monroe and Jane Mansfield, who had mastered the art of combining beauty with comedic timing. Here's where the story takes a dramatic turn, and this might be the most important behind-the-scenes moment in television history that nobody talks about. CBS made the bold decision to replace the original director with Richard Donner, who would later become a Hollywood legend. This wasn't just a simple personnel change, it was a complete creative overhaul that saved the entire show. The source reveals that under the original direction, the comedy felt stiff, the pacing lacked rhythm, and the chemistry that should have sparkled between cast members seemed restrained. Donner brought a completely different approach, encouraging spontaneity and allowing the actors' personalities to shine through. This change didn't just save Tina Louise's role, it transformed the entire dynamic of Gilligan's Island. The loose, natural comedy style that made the show a cultural phenomenon, that was all thanks to this crucial directorial switch that most fans never even knew about. But wait, there's an even more shocking story about the contract negotiations that nearly tore the cast apart. Now here's where things get really interesting, and it involves a contract dispute that created lasting tension among the beloved castaways. Tina Louise's original contract gave her top billing, which seemed natural given her Broadway credentials. But this created an unexpected problem with the show's famous theme song. In the early episodes, while Louise and other main cast members were named individually, Mary Ann and the Professor were lumped together as "and the rest." This wasn't just a minor oversight, it was a direct result of the billing arrangements tied to Louise's contract. The source document explains that Bob Denver, who played Gilligan, had to intervene to fix this unfairness. Thanks to his insistence, later seasons adjusted the theme song to give proper recognition to Dawn Wells and Russell Johnson. But the damage was done. This incident left behind a subtle tension and reinforced the sense that she was somewhat apart from the tight-knit camaraderie that developed among the other cast members. And speaking of being apart from the cast, here's where Tina Louise's story takes its most mysterious turn. When CBS produced reunion specials starting in 1978, every major cast member returned, except Tina Louise. She made a conscious decision never to participate in any reunion film, and her absence was immediately noticeable as another actress, Judith Baldwin, stepped into the role of Ginger. The reasons behind her decision have been debated for decades. Some reports suggest she felt typecast and wanted to distance herself from the role. Others claim she asked for fees so high that producers couldn't meet her demands. But according to the source, Louise herself explained it simply. She wanted to move forward with her career and avoid being forever tied to a single role. She said she had already done the character and wanted to explore new opportunities. But to understand why she felt so trapped by the role, we need to uncover the dark secrets of her past that she kept hidden for decades. But to truly understand Tina Louise's complicated relationship with fame, we need to go back to her childhood, a story so heartbreaking it explains everything about the woman she became. At age 4, her parents divorced, and she was raised mostly by her mother. But even that wasn't stable. By age 6, she was sent away to boarding school, leaving her feeling abandoned during the years when she needed care the most. As she revealed in her memoir, Sunday, "I didn't live with my mother until I was 11. I developed anger." Her school experiences were even worse. She described being bullied by peers and physically harmed, including being stabbed with a pencil by another child, leaving her with a permanent scar. The source notes that the longing for affection became a constant part of her childhood, a reminder of what she felt she had been denied. These shadows never fully disappeared, but they shaped her resilience and influenced every career decision she made. Acting became her escape, allowing her to live in worlds that were far from her own troubled reality. But here's something that will absolutely outrage every fan of the show. Here's something that will shock every Gilligan's Island fan. Despite the show's massive success in syndication, Tina Louise revealed that she never received a single cent in residuals. Each actor earned only about $1,500 per episode during the original run, and while creator Sherwood Schwartz eventually earned royalties from decades of reruns, none of that wealth reached the actors who brought the characters to life. Can you imagine? A show that's been running for nearly 60 years, making millions in syndication deals, and the actress who played one of its most beloved characters never saw a dime of those profits. But here's where the story gets even more emotional. But perhaps the most touching part of Tina Louise's story is how she found peace with her legacy. The turning point came through a single fan encounter that changed her perspective forever. A woman approached Tina and shared that her dying husband found comfort in reruns of Gilligan's Island during his final days. For him, Ginger wasn't just entertainment. She was a reminder of joy and the lighter side of life, even in moments of pain. This revelation transformed how Louise viewed her work. She realized that what she once saw as a limiting role had actually offered solace to people she had never met. In those heartfelt exchanges with fans, she found redemption and began to understand that acting was about connection, memory, and the way art could comfort those in need. But wait until you hear what she's been doing with her life that proves her true character. Today, at 91 years old, Tina Louise stands as the last surviving principal cast member of Gilligan's Island, but her legacy extends far beyond the screen. Since 1996, she has dedicated herself to literacy programs in New York City, tutoring children and helping them discover the joy of reading. In her own words from a New York Times interview, "I'm very grateful for all the things that have happened to me. I'd like to be known for other things." This perfectly captures the duality of her legacy, grateful for Ginger's impact while hoping to be remembered for her broader contributions to education and advocacy. From a troubled childhood to television stardom to a life of service, Tina Louise's story is one of resilience, reinvention, and ultimately, redemption. Her legacy proves that sometimes the most meaningful impact happens not in front of the cameras, but in the quiet moments when we touch other people's lives. What do you think defines Tina Louise's true legacy? Her iconic role as Ginger, or the meaningful life she built beyond the island? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more untold stories from Hollywood's golden age.